In last week's episode, we talked about men. The fathers we love, the brothers who drive us crazy, the boyfriends, the friends, the coworkers, the bosses, all of whom make life better and more confusing. And that conversation got me thinking about something. A lot of women's fear is not about aging. It's about visibility. Because somewhere along the way, women are taught that our value has an expiration date, that youth is currency, beauty is power, and that attention equals worth. And when those things start shifting, it can feel terrifying. Not because we're getting older, but because we're questioning who we are when we're not performing for someone else's approval. Today, we're talking about aging. Why we're told to fear it, why so many of us feel invisible as we get older, the difference between seeing yourself through the male gaze and your own gaze, and why some of the happiest women I know are women who finally stopped auditioning for the room. This is our guide to getting older. Hey everyone, welcome back to a new episode of Still Can't Cook. Don't forget to follow us, rate us 5 stars, follow us on YouTube, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Today's episode is for any woman who's ever looked in the mirror and wondered, am I becoming invisible? We start looking deeper at ourselves than we've ever looked before as we get older. We look for every line, every crinkle, every fat, every single change to our bodies as we get older, we start focusing in on. And when we're younger, we don't look that hard. We look at wearing an outfit, and if our jeans look good, we're happy. I think we start looking at ourselves more as we get older, and the world starts looking at us less. Because aging is one of the few things that every single person experiences if you're lucky enough to get here. Yet women are taught to dread it. We're sold anti-aging creams, anti-aging routines, anti-aging treatments, as if aging itself is somehow a problem to solve. And trust me, I've done it all. Done it all. But lately I've been wondering, what if the thing we're afraid of isn't actually aging? What if we're afraid of losing the validation we have been taught to rely on? So today we have no choice but to get into it. Why women fear aging, the male gaze versus your own gaze, the compliments that women receive at different ages, and why getting older can actually feel freeing. Because before we can talk about aging, we have to talk about what women are really mourning. One thing I noticed is that we often describe aging as disappearing. I don't get noticed anymore. I feel invisible. No one's looking when I walk in the bar. Someone checks me out and goes, oh, sorry. Thought you were cuter from behind. We start to lose all the attention we used to get when we still had our collagen. What's interesting is very few people say, I'm sad because I'm wiser. I'm sad because I know myself better. I'm sad because I care less. I know more. I feel better about myself. I have less stress. So many people complain about everything else, but no one ever complains about how much they've learned and how lucky we are to get here. The grief is often tied to attention, very often the male attention. For decades, we were rewarded for being desirable. Then one day, we somehow become less visible and then start wondering if we've actually become less valuable. It's a hard transition for a woman to make from childhood to the 20s to your 50s. It's so many changes, but when you get here, when you arrive in your 50s, if you're lucky enough to get here, and you recognize the thing that you get now that you didn't get when you were younger is just overall respect. I get doors held for me basically because of my age, no other reason. I get respect from people around me. People don't care if I'm hot anymore. They want to know how I feel about things. It's an entirely different thing. But getting here is kind of difficult. When you stop getting whistled at when you walk by construction zones, which I used to get mad, when those guys like heckle you when you're walking by, it stops. And when it stops, you're like, wait, really? Did I want to walk by one more time and let's make sure they see me? Oh no, they don't want to heckle me and they don't want to say anything to me because I'm as old as their mother. Apparently I'm as old as a lot of people's mothers. But yeah, when you get to a place where what used to be the thing you looked forward to, the attention that gave you that little feeling that you knew you looked good, when that stops, now you get someone asking you how you feel in a conversation at dinner. Or again, the simple thing is holding a door open when you're walking by, or someone going, oh, I'm sorry, and holding the elevator. I'm like, I don't even have a cane, but thank you so much. It's the respect that you get as you get older is very different than the attention that you get when you're younger. And there is a transition period between where I think that you feel the loss of your youth. I did. And then you have to really take a minute, self-evaluate, and go, what matters now? Like, a lot of women get very comfortable as they get older. I think men do as well. And they kind of settle into the fact that they don't have to care about this stuff anymore. That's why there's one-piece bathing suits. Oh no, that's why they make one pieces for us, for the women in their 50s. I still wear a bikini because, my eyesight's bad. So I can't see it. If I can't see it, you can't see it. Like the chin hair. If I can't see it, you can't see it. I got that mirror that I have to magnify to see everything. Anyway, I don't have a full-length magnifying mirror, so I look great without my glasses on. But that is why there are one-piece bathing suits, because when we get to a certain part of our lives, we stop trying to be hot. Now you want to be smart. You want to be sexy is always good. I always kind of want to look sexy. I want to be well-dressed, but I can't wear the same things I used to wear when I was a kid, but you find a new way of dressing in your 50s, and you still feel kind of cute. I want to cap it off at cute in my 50s. But there is an adjustment period when you're like, oh, wow, I'm not hot anymore. Okay. And I'm not even hot to the old guys anymore, because the old guys are looking at the young girls. So you're somewhere in the middle, sort of invisible to everybody but yourself, because it's the longest time in the mirror, the most staring, the most doctor's appointment, the most hair color, we do everything. We see ourselves so much more now than we did when we were younger, and the world stops looking. It's a very strange transition to make, because visibility and value are not interchangeable. Which brings us to one of the most powerful concepts I've learned as a woman. I think a lot of us spend years trying to see ourselves through other people's eyes. Do men find me attractive? Am I aging well? Do I still look young? Am I still turning heads? But what happens when you stop asking those questions? And what happens when you start asking, do I like my life? Do I like myself? Do I actually feel comfortable in my own skin? The male gaze teaches us to view ourselves as objects. And believe me, people weren't falling down the block when I was walking by. I was never a stunner. So it's not like I had what some people have when they walk in the door. It was like, I was never the hottest chick in the room. But that doesn't mean that I wasn't still living in my sexiness in my youth, because in my own head, I was hot as hell. But your own gaze asks how it feels to be you. And those are very different experiences. At a certain age, I stopped dressing for men. At some point in my life, I remember putting something on when I was much younger, and I would look at the mirror and be like, wow, will he, whoever that was at the time, will he think I look hot? Or will A, B, and C at the bar think I look good? I wore jeans that made my butt look cute. You wear tops if you have boobs, if those of us who do, I do not. You accentuate your sexy things when you're younger, or at least I did. And I always wondered if this was going to be the thing that turned the guy, whoever it was. At some point, as I got older, I recognized that when I'm buying clothes, when I'm getting dressed, when I'm putting together an outfit, when I'm doing my hair, when I'm doing anything to make myself and my appearance, my outward appearance, not inward, I'm dressing for women now. I pick clothes that I want my girlfriends to like. I put something on, and if a woman says when I walk down the block, you look great, it's the biggest compliment of all, because they're not turning their heads when I'm walking past a construction site. And I don't care, because they are babies. They are babies. So unless construction men are in their 70s, I'm not interested. So I'm no longer dressing for them. And you find yourself going to stores or looking at things when you're like, oh, I think my friend's gonna like this. Oh, I think Elaine's gonna love this shirt on me. There is a point in adulthood, I believe, in womanhood, where you recognize that you're no longer dressing for the opposite sex, and you are now dressing for another woman to appreciate your sense of style. You want someone to compliment your bag, your shoes. I have never had a man in my life say, love that bag. In my whole life, I've never had a man compliment my shoes. Never. Actually, men are not big at compliments unless it's something like gross at this point. It's like, yeah, you look hot in that. It's like, oh, shut it. Can't imagine why I'm single. A man should compliment me on my shoes and my purse and my sense of style and my lipstick color. And men do recognize fragrance. I will give them that. I do have men say I smell good. But they don't recognize how well dressed I am. You know who does that? Other women. So somewhere in my 40s into my 50s, I started dressing for other women, and it's worked out very well for me. And then other women asked my fashion advice, which they didn't in my 20s, 30s, and 40s. 40s they did. 20s and 30s they didn't, because I was dressing for men. Now that my fashion is more about what other women like, I get more compliments and more questions from women. And then when I am, in fact, in the company of a man, thank you, Hinge, then I want to know what I think and how I feel about things. It's a whole new world. I've also gotten to a place where it doesn't even matter what anyone thinks about what I'm wearing, except for me. As long as I like what I'm wearing, then I'm comfortable with it. I have to like what I have on if it makes me feel good about being me, especially as you get older. You want to make sure you have everything covered that needs to be covered. Accentuate positive, eliminate the negative, and don't worry about what's in between. That's how I dress. It's an old song. If you don't know it, look it up. It's a jingle. But that's how I dress for myself. Freedom starts the moment your opinion becomes more important than the audience's. And nowhere is this more obvious than in the compliments women receive. Let's go over some compliments that women receive at different ages and see which ones we like. You haven't aged at all. Hate it. Terrible. Worst thing. Big lie. Who you kidding? You look 100. Why are you saying that? That is just such... If you have nothing that makes any sense to say, just say hi. Nice to see you. You haven't aged at all. Really? Since 14? I look the same? Exactly. Really? All this looks the same. Lies. You don't look the same. You look really old, like you had 6 kids for lunch. That's how you look. Oh, you had 4 children? Did you eat them? Because that's how you look. Oh my God, you look amazing for your age. Oh, really? That's not a compliment. Why don't you just stop at you look amazing? You look amazing. For my age implies that you expect me to look what? What am I supposed to look like for my age? Don't like it. Just stop at you look amazing. How about we try that? Wow, you're still beautiful. Well, what happened? You think I turned 50 and turned into a troll? What happened? What do you think was going to happen? Of course I'm still beautiful, and I'm funny, and I'm well-dressed. I'm all the things. I didn't change just because I got old. You're aging gracefully has never been said to me because it would be a big fat lie. I am so not aging gracefully. I got all the things pulled, plucked, cut, sliced, stitched. If I could put it on, I put it on. If I could drink it, I drink it. If I could shoot it in my butt, I'm doing that because it leaves bruises on your stomach when you're shooting your peptides. I put them all in my butt now. I am definitely not aging gracefully. So if you say I'm aging gracefully, you're lying. Or someone told you to say that so that I could tell you that you're crazy, because I would never even let you get away with it. If you said you're aging gracefully, I'd be like, did you know I got a facelift? So trust. Don't use that line on me. I don't like it. I don't think I like any of these lines. I don't like lines. You're so confident. For me, that's what you say to somebody who has like a snaggle tooth and a cross eye. I think that is something that you say to somebody who shouldn't probably be out in public, and good for you for getting out the door looking like that. You're so confident is not a compliment. That's kind of a question. Like, you're so confident, aren't you? How'd you get that strong? What made you come outside looking like that? I don't like that one either. I don't like any of these lines. So, you're so confident. What does that mean? If a person, anyone said to me, you're so confident, I would say, what are you saying? What does that even mean? I think that's an underhanded insult. I think that's like an undercover insult. You're so confident. Wait, why? What do you see that I don't see? Why would I not be confident? What are you talking about? Do I have bad breath? Am I confidently speaking without knowing that I have bad breath? Am I confidently talking to you when I have a booger on my nose? Like, what is it? Do I have something stuck between my teeth? Am I so confident that I don't realize I have a salad stuck between my teeth? What does it mean? Do I have toilet paper from my shoes? What? I don't get it. Something has to be wrong with you for someone to say you're so confident. You say you're so confident to a short guy, like, wow, you're so confident hitting on me. Or, to like an older woman with braces, look at you, you're so confident coming out. There's Visalign, what are you doing? But you're so confident. Okay, really good compliments. Let's start with this, because I think all of these are caca. 2 thumbs down. Here's what I like. I like you're really pretty. Wow, you're really pretty. You have great eyes. Yeah, I don't know about the really pretty thing. I'll take it. It's a great compliment. I don't know if it's true. I know I have great eyes. Thank you so much. That's a great compliment. Wow, you're really funny is a nice compliment. I love your shoes, your bag, your outfit, your clothes, your hair, the way you smell. Great compliments. I don't know about I think everything that we're talking about, I think those are like underhanded compliments. Like, don't tell me I look good for my age. Just tell me I look good. That dress looks good on you. No, you just look good. I don't know. I think these are underhanded compliments. But I think you could straight out compliment anyone, me especially. So men that are watching who want to date me, write these things down. You look pretty. I think you're very funny. Yes, you're still thin. Yes, you're still thin. That one works. And you can smell good. Smell is a good one. Anything that's not related to how it's shocking that I'm still any of it. You look good for your age. Wow, anything that comes with a wow is a problem at 55. Because you're like, wait, wow, what? Yeah, wow, I'm still alive. Oh my God, I can't believe you're still here, is what they're saying. Yes, I'm still here. Anything with the word still in it and all the things that we were just talking about how you age gracefully or you're still pretty, these are backhanded compliments. They are not full up compliments. And somewhere underneath there, you're angry at me or you have like a grudge. Because hidden inside of some of these compliments is the assumption that aging is bad. Like, you still look good for your age. Wow, you didn't age as much. No. What are my options here? Aging is the only choice we have. Thank God, the ones that have it. I have to rub my temples whenever I talk about aging, even though I can't feel them, thanks to Botox. But aging is the only thing we can do. The alternative would absolutely suck. Well, not that death sucks, but You're pretty acknowledges growth, not preservation. You're still pretty means, wow, like at some point I pickled myself. Of course I'm pretty. It's the compliment I receive the most is that I'm funny and that I'm well dressed. That's the compliments. Those are the ones I listen to. So guess what? If there's a still in it, I probably didn't hear it, except for still can't cook. Still can't cook is the only thing I'm going to say with the still. And I said still pretty, which I shouldn't have said because I'm so used to backhanded compliments. I don't enjoy compliments. Say reality. Say things that are real. That's what I think is complimentary. Say something factual. You have nice eyes. Pretty is, you think I'm pretty, you don't think I'm pretty, I don't care. That's the eye of the beholder, correct? I could be pretty to some person and ugly to somebody else. But I think funny is important, kind is important. I don't think you can compliment somebody and call them kind. That would be weird in a jump because you don't really know somebody if you're still at the complimenting phase. Or you haven't seen them long enough to have to compliment them, so kind is a stretch. I don't know, I think it's all kind of compliments. I don't know, what do you guys think about compliments? Do we mean them wholeheartedly when you compliment someone, or is it just a filler space? I think sometimes it's just a filler space. You can tell me you like what I'm wearing, you can tell me that you like the way I smell. I can say the same in return. Those things would be true. They're in the moment. They're actual. Anything past that is just a guess. Do I know if you're interesting past this moment? No, I really don't. Do I know if you've, become comfortable in your own body? No, I don't know. I think you have to do like in the moment. I like that lipstick on you. That's a compliment. I like the way you smell. I like the way you're dressed. Real compliments have to be in the moment, not anything about someone's personality. So don't say something about someone's long-term personality if you haven't seen them in years or if you're just getting to know them, because it doesn't make any sense. You could say you seem really happy. You seem really funny. You seem blah, blah, blah. Anything other than that, you don't know. Don't compliment someone on their aging because that's just a backhanded compliment and makes you consider how old you are and what you look like the last time they saw you. And then you go back and you search through your phone to your high school photos and you're like, this guy's lying. I don't look anything like I used to look. I had short hair. I had blonde hair at one point, which is crazy. But anyway, realizing that aging gives you something that youth never could was a life-changing day for me. No one talks enough about the benefits of getting older. You care less about fitting in. You waste far less time trying to impress people. You stop apologizing for just taking up space. You become harder to manipulate. You know what you want sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes you know what you want. You know what you don't want. And perhaps most importantly, you stop confusing attention for love. All the things I worried about growing up, all the things I thought were going to be the moments that I might never get through, the things that happen in life, the death moments, the phone calls, the things that you think you're prepared for, you think you're anticipating it. I was anticipating it my whole entire childhood. I was bananas about the whole idea of life and death. And the reality is that you find out these most life-changing, most tragic moments on a random Tuesday afternoon. So the thing that I've learned between the younger Kelley versus older Kelley, if I could have a conversation with myself, one of the things I would say is, you're never going to be prepared. You're never going to be prepared. All the things you think you're preparing for are never going to happen the way you thought they were going to happen. Chill out. Enjoy life. You're way cuter than you recognize. And just realize life has a way of unfolding in the exact way it's supposed to. No matter how much you try to control it, no matter how much you want to avoid certain heartaches, hold on to the things you love dearly, which you should always do. Life happens without any control, and you get to where you're supposed to go, and you have no control of the road unless you make stupid choices. Of course, there are those people. But if you're living your life the right way and you're taking care of yourself and you're functioning like a normal human, life usually just unfolds and you can't control it. The hardest moments of my life came without warning. And as a kid, I feared change. I was afraid of everything. So if I could sit back and tell myself something from now, Kelley 54 to Kelley 15 or 25 even, it's just enjoy it, because you're going to get where you didn't think you were going to get. 55 is bizarre to me. I didn't think I was afraid of not getting here, but I never thought I wasn't going to. But it's a trip, I'm really happy to be almost 55 years old. But all the things you try to control as you're growing up, you get to a settled place as you get to a certain age, and you recognize that you wasted so much time fearing things that are naturally going to happen anyway. There's no way to avoid a lot of parts of life. And if you spend so much time avoiding them, sometimes you avoid the joy in life. If you're so afraid of losing someone, you avoid appreciating them. Does that make sense? I did that. I needed a little bit of like, okay, relax, Kelley, relax. We're going to get here. We're going to be okay. We're going to be at 54 and we're going to be great. And you're not really going to need that much hairspray. Put down the final net. It's bad for the environment. That's what I would tell 15-year-old Kelley. Stop wearing that color lipstick, Kellyanne. If your lips are getting stuck, the hair used to get stuck to my lips. It was disgusting. I wore the greasiest of lipsticks. Anyway, but yeah, I think the conversation I would have with myself if I could go back is stop trying to control it, because all the little things you worried about, the hairsprays, the bad colored lipsticks, the tight pants, the first boyfriend, the Cavaricis not having the proper designer sweatshirts, and it doesn't matter. None of that matters now. I see the kids that were the best dressed in high school who aren't the best dressed anymore. Let's just say that. And those are the kids that we sweat. Like, these are the things we worried about growing up. Or the hottest girl. The hottest girl that when I was growing up, man, she's not the hottest girl anymore. And taken out of this little bubble of the world that I was in, she wasn't the hottest girl kind of anywhere. It's funny. It's hindsight, as they say. And youth is wasted on the young. Meanwhile, it's factual. It really is. Confidence isn't something that you lose with age. It's something that you finally learn. You change the things you think are important as you get older. And it becomes way easier to control things because you recognize there's so many things you can't control, one of which is the aging process. So what did we learn about aging? Aging isn't the problem. The problem is spending years believing that your value depends on being chosen by men, by society, by strangers, by anyone other than yourself. Because if your worth is tied to youth, aging feels like a loss. But if your worth is tied to your character, your experiences, your friendship, your growth, aging feels like expansion. The women I admire the most are not the women trying the hardest to look 25. Though, I'll dangle somewhere in the 40s. Or turn the lights down. I used to say when I worked at Soho, I'd be like, could you put the lights down to my 30s? A little down. A little bit darker now to get to my 40s, but you know what I'm saying. The ones who want to look 25, I'm not about that life. The women that I admire are the women who seem completely at home in themselves. And honestly, that's the kind of beauty that gets better with time. So if you've been feeling worried about getting older, maybe ask yourself, am I afraid of aging? Or am I afraid of becoming someone I haven't learned to appreciate yet? Thank you for listening. Thank you for coming. It's the season finale of Still Can't Cook. I appreciate you so much. And share this episode with someone who needs the reminder that getting old is not something to survive. It's something to become. That is a wrap on season 3 of Still Can't Cook. Don't miss me too much. Write, call, send cards. I like flowers. And I'll see you, I guess, right after the summer for a new season of Still Can't Cook. Thank you and bye. Subscribe, 5-star, YouTube, do all the things. Share us with friends. Thank you, everybody. Hey guys, thank you so much for showing up for another episode of Still Can't Cook. Subscribe to us wherever you listen to your podcasts, on YouTube or any other podcast provider. And if you're on Instagram or TikTok, please follow us at Still Can't Cook. Love to have you guys back every week. So happy that you joined us and look forward to seeing you next week.